Welcome back to Turf Talk, Preakness Recap Edition, Vance Cloud Computing, another Grade 1 winner, always dreaming the only multiple Grade 1 winner among 3-year-old males this year. Classic Empire again settling for minor rewards, and the hot topic was Julien Leparoux. I thought the ride was fine.
Yeah, pretty much so. I mean, he took it to always dreaming right from the start, was in a perfect position throughout, pretty much inherited the lead from a tiring always dreaming around the far turn into the stretch, and I think maybe somebody said on Twitter that Julien's decision from there on out was just to separate himself from the field. He opened up 3 lengths in mid-stretch, and he just ended up tiring a little bit too late, didn't quite see Cloud Computing through his blinkers, and just got caught at the wire.
Yeah, and it was a long way back to third, and the third-place finisher, Senior Investment, basically clumped up. I mean, he was never a threat to win, certainly. So, you know, to me, it's one of those situations that, you know, a horse ran a great race in Cloud Computing. Kudos to Chad Brown and Javier Castellano. I mean, they did everything right with the horse and got him in the winner's circle. But, you know, if he doesn't run his race, or, you know, if a few others show up and maybe he gets into a little bit of trouble, Classic Empire wins. And to me, it's a great ride, and he didn't, so it was just okay. But I have no criticism of it.
Yeah, I don't either. And Mark Casse has even talked about taking the blinkers off for the Belmont Stakes in 3 weeks. He thought maybe that was a late factor, that the horse didn't see his competition coming to him, couldn't react in a quick enough time. But yeah, I can't fault Julien for the ride. It was almost worked to a T. It just didn't quite work out.
Yeah, now I'm torn. It's hard to see how he's not the favorite in the Belmont, even if Cloud Computing goes. And I mean, I love the horse, but, you know, I've had the benefit of he hasn't been favored the last 2 times. And in Arkansas, yeah, he was favored 8-5 or whatever, but others were taking money, and it was a type of race where if he hadn't had his issues, probably would have been 2 or 3-5. So Belmont's a little different. Some interesting storylines for sure. I'm interested to see how Epicaris is training over here. Not a fan of the Dubai to the Derby move, but Belmont's different. They've pointed for this. They've gotten the extra time. He's clearly a talented horse. He's the one I'm most interested in.
Yeah, Classic Empire's not going to offer any value whatsoever at Belmont Park, and he's missed out on with 2 rough trip in the Kentucky Derby, and a more favorable trip in the Preakness, didn't quite get it done. So he's probably worth taking a shot against at Belmont, going 1.5 miles. And if Epicaris is a horse you're looking at, I'm kind of thinking of maybe Taprit, who didn't run so well in the Kentucky Derby or the Belmont Stakes, but had some pretty good form earlier this year. Todd Pletcher, he aims for the Belmont Stakes with horses who have skipped the Preakness, and so he's kind of an early one I'm kind of looking at. I don't expect Cloud Computing to show up. I think Chad Brown likes a bigger gap than 3 weeks for his colt, and we'll probably see him next at Saratoga.
Yeah, I would think, yeah, I agree. Just seems that way. I mean, he's throwing the name out there, which is good for Belmont. I mean, you know, drum up some storylines and such, but I'm with you. I don't see how he goes to that race. So who else we got?
Yeah, we have another Pletcher. I think Patch is possibly in the mix. Looking at Lee is going to come back for Steve Asmussen, and Senior Investment, like you said, is also aiming for Belmont. So at least we got some contenders there. I'm not quite sure about the new shooters that might show up at Belmont yet.
No, they'll hustle someone for sure, but we'll continue to talk about it over the next, well, I'm not really sure because this is my last week in this office, but we'll figure something out and talk some racing down the line. But yeah, Belmont, always interesting, huge card. Hopefully Songbird shows up. That's the one I'm cheering to be in the gate for the Phipps. But Met Mile, all that good stuff.
Yeah, the Manhattan, Just a Game. It's going to be a terrific card as always.
All right, well, we'll continue to discuss that on the blog, on video. So keep joining us for Turf Talk.